Well, first of all, introduce yourself. What's your name and how long you been in? You know, I know all that stuff, but still, you know what I mean?
So,
Me and you go way back.
So, all right. I'm Texar Vincent. My first name is Makisha. I've been in 17 years. Well, let's just say a little over 16 and a half, almost 17 years. Originally came in as security forces, did security forces for 14 years. My first duty station was at McGuire.
Yeah, that's where I knew you from, yeah.
Exactly. I was at McGuire
for?
I was at McGuire for I was at McGuire for 7 years.
Dang, I was there.
So I got there in 2000. Okay, I got there in 2004. I left 2000. About 6 years, 6.5 years. I was at McGuire.
Yeah, I was there 10. I was there same time. 2003 Thanksgiving, and then I was there until 2014. So yeah.
It's like you get at McGuire, like it's hard to get out of McGuire.
But I loved it though. I miss it. I ain't gonna lie.
You was right there from the surrounding area.
The crib. Yeah, New York. So exactly. I'm right here. Yeah, so it worked out for me.
Exactly. So I mean, I wasn't that far. I was like 6 hours away, but still at the same time, I'm kind of like, I've had enough of this. So I ended up putting in for a BOP. Got approved, and then I went to Moody. Was at Moody for 7 years. Yeah, a little over 7 years I was at Moody. And then while at Moody, I applied for the Enlisted Aide gig and got that. And then
so what made you, I have to ask you that, what made you sign up for that? Because that's a career field that people don't really know about. So what made you go, okay, I want to be enlisted. You enlisted what? Aide, right? What made
enlisted
you go
aide, yeah. So when I first got to McGuire, there was a girl who actually worked in our command section. She was a cop. That was before they actually put the CSS into the squadrons. So she was an actual cop, but she was working in the command support staff. And so when I got there, I was talking to her for a little bit, and then like I would go in and out if I had like questions or whatever. And she was like, "Yeah, my job is about to come open because I applied to be a enlisted aide." And I'm like, what is the enlisted aide? So she just started giving me so she just started giving me the rundown on it. But this was like 2010, roughly 2011. And I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. Like I might want to. And so she ended up getting hired. She got the job. She left. I applied for her job and ended up started working at CSS. So all this whole time, I just kept, procrastinating about putting in my package. And just one day I was just like, you know what? I want something different. I need something different. The cop world is cool, but I want something outside. I want something to challenge myself. I wasn't being challenged enough in security forces because I basically knew it like the back of my mind. So it was kind of like I needed to challenge myself to do something different. And of course, I wanted to see what the rest of the Air Force had to offer because all I saw was the gates and people coming through and, hey, how you doing? Exercise and stuff like that. But I wanted to see what else did the Air Force have for me. So I applied.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you this question then. So how do you actually apply? So basically, you said did you have to go DSD process, a DSD thing, or is it something you can?
So that's what's different about this job. It's not DSD. It's actually it's not DSD. It's actually a program. And so what I did was I went on the Air Force portal. Like they have the side that says assignment opportunities. Yeah. So where it says assignment opportunities, and there was a link that said enlisted aide. to apply for enlisted aid. So it gave you like the whole rundown of all that you need to do, like put your package in, everything. I did all of that. And well, actually, before I did that, there was a previous cop. He was an enlisted aide at the time. So I reached out to him just to get some insight on the job, you know, figure out if it really was something that I wanted to do. And so I, you know, just talked to him for a little bit, about a couple months. And then I put my package together
and you got accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And you got accepted. That's cool. So what do you do? Tell me your duties, because nobody knows what that is, like I said. So we need to know what you do. I know some of it, but not all of it. So what do you do?
Okay, so let me just put this disclaimer out here real quick, because there is a lot of misconception about what it is being an enlisted aide. So let me just put this disclaimer out here, the fact that every enlisted aide does something different. Because of the fact that you work for a different GO. Every general officer is not going to run things the same as another general officer. So what I may do with my GO, the next aide may not do. Or what she do, right. So typically, on a normal, like day-to-day basis, like I said, it depends on what it is that your GO wants. Some enlisted aides are having to, you know, do breakfast, lunch, and dinner for their GO. Me, myself, I really don't have to do breakfast. We do lunch and sometimes dinner. But we make sure that his uniforms are good to go, whatever uniform that he needs for the next day. If it's his OCPs, we make sure his OCPs are squared away. If it's his service dress or whatever uniform that he needs for that next day or for that day, we make sure that it's all prepped and ready for him to go. All he has to do is pull it off the rack and put it on. Some enlisted aides have to do yard work depending on the base and the contract that's set by CE. Some may have to cut grass, some don't have to cut grass. It just all depends on where that individual is stationed and if there's a contract for that base housing to have that yard work done. Some will, you know, so we do event planning. So a lot of times GOs have parties. They like to entertain, you know, DVs that come in, Gerald Goldfein or whoever may come in, they might want to entertain them at their house. So if the GO decides that they want to entertain somebody at their house, we will be the one who put on that event. So we will be the one who do all the meals, the grocery shopping, the cooking, the decorating. We do all that for that event. So yeah, we do that. Any shopping, anything that needs to be done for the GO that is in retrospect of his official duties, that is what we do. We do not do any personal things for the GO. We don't go, you know,
like babysit his kid or something like that.
We don't babysit no kids. We don't walk dogs. We don't pick up dog poop. You know what I'm saying? We don't do stuff like that. Everything that we do is in the confines of him being able to accomplish the mission. That's basically what we do. Oh,
that's interesting. So how long does this thing last? Because you've been doing it for a minute. Is it like a 3-year, 4-year tour thing, something like that?
So it all depends. So now they're going to a thing where that there are doing no more than 5 years into the gig. However, there have been aides who have been doing it a long time. We got some aides who have been doing it for 20 plus years. We got aides that have been doing it for 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. You know, it's all different until we actually, well, that's the route that they're going to right now as far as trying to make it where that you don't do no more than 5 years. I'm at almost 3 years. I'll be 3 years in September. But yeah, so I feel like it's also in the need of the GO. Like if you hit your 5 year and your GO wants you to stay, then
yeah, you can stay. Yeah, because he got connections like that. Yeah, he got the pull like that.
Security forces is cool. I dig security forces. I miss security forces. I miss the camaraderie that we had. I miss, you know, leading the troops, pushing flights, being flight chief, stuff like that. But it comes a time in a military career where you feel like I don't want to be stagnant. This is not all I want to do. I have to do something else. And so Yeah. So, and what's so crazy is because when I left security forces, I was in my dream job. I was the NCIC of investigations. I was in my dream job. Like there was nothing
So
else.
why'd you leave? If you had a dream job, then why'd you say I put the package in to go to enlisted aid? You know, like I
Because
don't get it.
It wasn't it wasn't enough. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't being fulfilled.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
I wasn't being fulfilled doing it. I felt like I'm here to put bad guys away. I'm here to investigate people, get people, make sure that I, get my cases and stuff like that. I just needed something else. I needed a
You need to
change.
change. You need to change. I know. I see. I see. That's what happened with me. Because remember, I told you how McGuire. I was there for a long time, and I love McGuire so much. But I definitely needed to change. I was getting complacent. It was like to me, it was like I needed something different. Even though I went to Dover, which is like right there, and it's the same type of base, it was something different. Because I know what you mean. It's like after a while, it's like you know what, it got to be more. You know what I'm saying? This can't be it.
Yeah. You want to go from the top and then we work our way down?
Yep.
Okay. So boom. So the whole hiring process, right? So this is how my hiring process went. I took my package. You have to have a resume, in accordance with the tongue and quill. You need an 8x10 full photo, full service dress photo. You have letter recommendations from your commander, your wing command chief, and possibly your first sergeant, or any definitely those three. But any other recommendation letters that you get is always a plus. So you also want to make sure you have your last 5 EPRs, of course, your fitness, all that jazzy stuff. And once you get your package together, you send your package over to the recruiter management. At this point, it's CMSR Select Merrimack. He's the actual recruiter manager right now, and him and the program manager will get together, look at the packages. So when you go on the portal, they have the openings of all GOs that need an aide, right? And then so you go. It's published on the portal. You'll see what GO, and then on your cover sheet, whichever one that you want to apply for, that's the one that you put down on your cover sheet of who you want to apply for.
So you can pick like if they have basically like a bunch of them, you can pick which one you want to be, enlisted aid for. That's how it works.
So I'm not gonna say that's who you pick to be for, but that's who you get to interview with. And if that GO hires you, then yeah, that'll be your GO.
See, I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's cool. So how do you know who to apply? So it's different ones, and you apply for, like, how do you figure out, okay, let me just go for this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you apply for which one? Like, how does that work?
Excuse me. So that's what you have on your cover letter. On your cover letter, so you'll see what GO needs an aide. And on the cover letter, you'll put that GO name. There's also, which should be a link on that page that shows that GO's bio. So
okay, that's what I was getting at. How do you know who you're applying for? Okay.
Yeah, there should be a link attached to, because it's like kind of like in a spreadsheet. It'll have the GO name, his rank, where he's at, and then it should have a picture of him or the link, or him or her, and the link to their bio. You could pull up their bio and then read everything about that GO. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I did. It helps. So that's what I did. I did that. I knew I wanted to go to the DMV area. So the GO that I applied for was in DC. I applied. I sent all my paperwork over. I think like in a week or so, I got a call from the GO's front office saying, hey, General so-and-so wants to conduct an interview with you. Is this day and time good? Cool. So they'll call you. You either can do a telephone interview or VTC. I did a telephone interview. I did a telephone interview with my with the GO, and a couple days later, I think we was actually on a 4-day break. That Tuesday, he called me and told me that he wanted me to come and join the team. So that's how I end up. Yeah, I end up PCS into DC. So once you get selected, of course, there are courses that you have to go to. There's an enlisted aid course that's done at Fort Lee in Virginia, which is ran by the Army. Now, believe it or not, every military branch has enlisted aides. So Navy has enlisted aides, Coast Guard has enlisted aides, Marines has enlisted. We all have enlisted aides. So it's a joint service school that's ran by the Army. That's like 2 weeks. I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks we're there for that course. Then after that, you'll go to advanced culinary school, which is like 5 or 6 week school. That's also done at Fort Lee. And then I've also went to a boot camp culinary school in New York.
Really?
Yeah, I went
to
a boot camp.
Boot camp, like that sounds basic training, but
it's not even like that. They call it boot camp because it's basically teaching you the bare minimums.
Oh, okay. I got
it's
you.
Not boot camp. They're not yelling at you. It's just no, but they call it that because it's basically like teaching you the bare minimum, like things that you should already know how to do if you know how to cook. So I went there for like 2 weeks.
That's good. So what about okay, you saying about you want to make master and stuff like that. Have you been doing other stuff outside of your career field to help you, like, I don't know about volunteering, but maybe school or other things? And I'm asking you that because I want to give advice to people that actually are doing something like this to make rank. Can they go outside and do other things? Like, what have you been doing?
So the thing about this career field is that they say it's hard to make rank, but I mean, we just had like, last year we had 6 tech sergeants make master. So, and mind you, the career field is very small. It's only about between 62 and 65 of us across the Air Force. And majority of us are tech sergeants, staff sergeants and tech sergeants. That's what majority of us are. So, and we're all doing the same thing to one extent or another. We're all doing the same thing. That's what I'm saying.
What else can you do to separate?
You have to get out. Yeah, you have to get out and you have to try to do like other things. You have to, of course, go to school. You got to try to be involved in the organizations. But the only thing about this base is that, so Wright Pat is built of majority officers and civilians, right? This is where medical tech school is. So it's kind of like a lot of medical people come here to do some of their training.
Oh, is it there now? Because it used to be a Shepherd. Because I was actually with medical back in the day when I went to Shepherd. It was medical and think CE's over there too. So they moved in the right path.
Yeah, well, I know. I know my friend. He used to be public health. He's an enlisted aide now. He used to be public health, and he's been here for some of his medical training because he worked in public health. So I know there are some fresh airmen who are here training.
Okay.
That are medical, because Wright Pat is supposed to be top 2 medical hospital, in the Air Force, or top 5.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but it's kind of hard because that's basically all the airmen that you're going to come in contact with is the ones that are kind of work at the medical facility. And you got some sprinkle here and there, So that's one of the things too, like the 5.6 is kind of struggling with getting help because it's not a lot of enlisted here.